Internship interview with Aaron, take 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Right now it just says Google.
Oh. You didn't.
I sent it to Canvas.
He said he sent it through Canvas, Mr. Borrego.
Let me check. Oh, I was just making sure that you got it.
Take 2.
Hey guys, number one complaint from the last recording was too much noise from the camera people. So let's be quiet, okay? I'm not saying you're already being loud. Be quiet. All right?
I'm not yelling at you.
Just shut up.
Phones off?
Phone's off.
I was going to say, I hope your eyes are a lot better than mine. It's tiny.
I just have to squint.
How's that? How's the speed?
Uh,
How's the font?
the font's fine.
The size?
Yeah, the size is good.
The size is good. Okay. Internship interview with Aaron, take 2. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Hello, my name is Aaron Wing, and today I would like for you to meet Victor Caballero, a marketing expert who knows the Latino entertainment community inside and out. He's worked his magic in some of the biggest radio markets and is currently the marketing manager at a couple of venues around town, including the Alamodome. Victor, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Aaron.
Hi. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Could you go ahead and explain a little bit of what it is that you do?
Sure. Currently, I work for the City of San Antonio as a marketing manager for the Convention, Sports, and Entertainment Facilities Department. I think that's the longest name of any department at the City of San Antonio. So the acronym is CSEF. But basically, it's the Alamodome, the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center, and the Carver Community Cultural Center.
Oh, wow. And what's, so you're the marketing director, right? And how did you become that position?
I have a lot of experience in brand development, brand management, go-to-market projects on the technology side. I have a media background experience, and I think that, with my passion and love for brand development and my experience in media, kind of created the skill set that, would be able to execute the role of marketing manager pretty well.
And you got your start in radio, correct?
I did.
Can you expand on that, how that started?
Sure. It's a long story. I'll try not to make it too long, but I've always been fascinated with the technology side of radio, right? I think the initial interest for me was, how does this work? How can somebody be at a radio station and talk into a microphone, and without wires, all of these people can listen to what's happening, right? And I think that was the initial fascination I had. And then, got an internship, turned into a promotions assistant role. I would basically wash the vans and make everybody look good.
Yeah.
And then I remember one night, the evening host didn't show up, and station leadership at the time knew that I wanted to be on the air, and they offered me the opportunity to do so. I was super nervous, but we did a great job, and it was, all history after that. That was my first on-air gig here in San Antonio at KRIO at the time. It was at the Tejano station, and then I just made it out to the West Coast not too long after that.
Okay. And what did you do out there in the West Coast?
Radio as well. I started in San Diego. I did mornings on a hip hop station, and then I saw an article of a bilingual station that was launching in Los Angeles. This was probably around 2004. And it really caught my attention. And as I read what they were trying to do with that station, it just reminded me of home. It reminded me of San Antonio. They wanted somebody who was bilingual. And while working in Tejano, you kind of, you're born in that environment. And so I kind of knew when I saw the job posting in 2004 or 5 that I would be an ideal candidate for that opportunity because I grew up here in San Antonio.
And how would you compare the two markets of Los Angeles and San Antonio?
I think they're very similar. Los Angeles, obviously, it's a lot bigger. But in terms of the, biculturalism, the two cultures kind of coexisting without any real issues, and that being seen more as a positive than anything else, I kind of felt that the two cities were similar in that regard, and so I felt right at home.
What made you want to get into radio?
The technology first, and then I fell in love with the storytelling and the community aspect of it, right? I think that the technology was really interesting, and then it got really boring. And then, and then I thought, well, maybe I can, use my platform for some good, right? And I think that, realizing that, I was in a position of power to be able to leverage my platform to give other people in my community a voice who may not otherwise have a voice, that became very fulfilling for me, and it's something that I really leaned into and still do today, even though I'm not on the air. I still, think that, our platform with the Convention, Sports, and Entertainment Facilities Department of the city is a platform that, brings a lot of entertainment to San Antonio. I like to be able to create opportunities for folks in my community to better amplify, their voice and initiative.
And what's your favorite act that you've brought to San Antonio?
That's a difficult question. There are so many. And, each of the venues, I think, bring a unique experience, right? The Alamodome has everything from graduations, right, which is a very powerful moment. I mean, I don't know if you know anyone who's graduated at the Alamodome, but
I'm getting close.
There are a lot of graduates who cross that stage, and being able to see the moms, the dads, the grandmas, the grandparents, or the aunts and uncles and friends, to see their experience, their expressions on their face when they see their loved one cross the stage, that's really special and that's really powerful. As is going to see, a big artist like Pink, or, we just had Elton John and Sting.
Oh, wow.
So being able to see those shows and see folks come to those performances, and, I feel like we're in the luckiest department of the city, right? Because everybody's having a good time, right? And it's not hard to mess that up, right? You have a good band, somebody they love, you facilitate the experience, and they have a great time. And the Carver, Community Cultural Center does some incredible things within the community on the east side, right? Brings some great educational programs that we take out into the communities throughout San Antonio. And then the Convention Center, that's where, a lot of great ideas are born, how folks network with a lot of the conventions and conferences that come to town. And then, they're starting to do more things like San Japan, the Comic-Con experience. And so it's a meeting place, right? These three venues offer a unique meeting place, and each have, their unique set of characteristics that I think, make San Antonio a fun place to live. I
agree. You also have an ad agency, right?
Not anymore.
Not
I did.
Anymore.
Yeah,
You did? Okay.
I did. I had an ad agency in Los Angeles, and primarily my clients were streaming platforms. So, the Slacker radios back at the time, Pandora's of the world, when the streaming radio was just becoming more popular. So that's what my ad agency specialized in. When I moved to San Antonio, I let that go and started working for iHeartRadio when I moved here back to San Antonio.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what does being San Antonian mean to you?
Puro everything, right?
Gosh,
Gosh, it means so much. I think, for me personally, it's family, right? So, San Antonio, I think, is got a small town feel. I feel that, for me, I remember the moment that I realized, okay, it's time for me to move back home. I was having coffee on my back patio out in LA, and I called home, and my brother was he had already moved back, and he was having breakfast with my parents. It was on a Sunday morning. And I asked him, what are you doing? And he said, I'm having barbacoa with mom and dad here at the house from this place called La Victoria, which is off of Division and 35. And I remember thinking, like, that's where I need to be. Like, what am I doing out here? I'm having coffee by myself on my patio. Like, that, it's not really any fun, right? So I moved back, and that was the moment, right? And that's when I think that's the moment when everything kind of, fell into perspective, right? The things that were important, family, right? That was really important. So for me, San Antonio means family, right? I think that, to a lot of the newcomers or people who are moving here from other parts of the world or country, I think, San Antonio offers diversity, rich culture, a unique culinary experience. The fact that, we're recognized as a city of gastronomy. There's only 2 of such cities in the U.S., us and Tucson. That just speaks to our culinary, our culinary culture here in San Antonio, as you can tell.
Right. My next question was, what's your favorite breakfast taco? But we'll skip that one. So what parts of the culture do you go to Fiesta? Do you get to experience the Pearl or regions around town here?
So I do go to Fiesta. I'm really involved. I volunteer a lot during Fiesta, both with the Fiesta Commission and with the Fiesta Flambeau Parade. It's a lot of fun to be able to work with so many organizations that are all trying to, do good in their own right. And for the city to come together and party with a purpose is really exciting. Growing up, I didn't really think about all those things. For me, it was just, let's go and have fun at Fiesta, right? And it was, a night out with the family, having a good time, whether, it was going to one of the parades or going to NIOSA or whatever. But now that I'm a little older, I feel that, I'm able to appreciate and definitely want to help all of the, PMOs, the participating member organizations, which are the nonprofits under Fiesta. Help them with their messaging, right? And getting the word out and getting folks excited and supporting the initiatives that they're working towards.
And typically, do you get like those organizations involved yourself? Are you one meeting with people, or?
No, the Fiesta Commission has their own organization, and if you want to be a participating member, there's an application process that you go through. I don't work for Fiesta. I've just volunteered my time and helped them with some of their initiatives and some of their media outreach and some of their social media initiatives as well. And with the Fiesta Flambeau Parade, kind of volunteering my time to help organize. For the first time this year, we had hosts along the parade route. So we had about 8 hosts. We had different stations along the parade route. And as you know, the Fiesta Flambeau Parade is one of the largest illuminated parades in the country, attracting, I think the number that they share is 700 or 750,000 spectators for that one parade. So it was really cool to be able to set up 8 different staging platforms where local celebrities, hosts, radio DJs, social media influencers could read a script and kind of share, a little history about all the floats that were coming through. Because typically it's just the one broadcast stage, and if you're not close to that broadcast stage, you're just kind of trying to guess what the floats are, what their story is, what they're doing, who they are, who's on the floats, et cetera. So being able to have those stations along the parade route was pretty cool this past year, and we'll do it again this year.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. Is there any significant people you've met that you want to shout out?
So many, geez. I'm like a sponge, and I feel that, whether an individual knows it or not, I'm always paying attention to what's happening. And I think folks have influenced my life probably, and maybe never even knew that they influenced my life. But people that I've worked closely with throughout my career, and I credit a lot of, my growth to our Dave Rios, who was a morning host here on Kono for many years. He's retired now, but he was definitely a mentor for me growing up. He was the voice for Channel 4 and was did the morning show on Kono for many, many years. Pio Ferro, who is a radio executive. He ran Hot 97 in New York, which is a hip hop station. It was probably the #1 hip hop station in the world. He hired me in Los Angeles, and we've stayed in touch, and we're still good friends. And being able to call somebody like him, he'll always take my call. He just moved back to LA to launch another radio station, but he was instrumental in my growth, right? And I think when he managed me, I was very young, I was very ambitious. I think I wasn't as calm and collected as I am today, right? So I would get a little heated when things didn't go my way, and I think I really learned, the value of patience, the value of listening, the value of really taking a step back and looking at the big picture, and the value of working with other people, right, who may not think like you think, but you can still learn from them, and together, you can create something special. And I think, those were some of the big, I think, growth experiences that I learned from Pio. And then in my current role, Steve Zito is our assistant director for the Alamodome, and he's got this one team mentality, and it really has created an incredible culture. And so while I may work on the marketing department, I'll help the events department, or I'll help guest services. I mean, it really just is this, we're all in this together, because when there's an event the scale of the men's Final Four, or a concert where you have 55,000 people in your building, you really do have to work together. You can't have anybody on your team that is thinking or living in this silo where, they feel they're only responsible for the things that fall under their job description, because there's just too much going on for folks to do that. So it really is an all hands on deck, and all, one team approach, everybody working towards the same goal, and that is creating a great experience for our patrons.
Victor, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Sure.
That was Victor Caballero. Thank you for sharing your insights and your wisdom on your growing stellar career. Thank you for joining us. My name is Aaron Wing.
Cut. That's a wrap.
Sweet.
Great job. That was
I blacked
good.
out,
That was
so
easy.
thank you so much.
Yeah, that was